This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Tuesday, September 18. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Prime Minister Mia Mottley today announced that Barbados will embark on a digital currency pilot project at the height of an apparent standoff between a financial technology company BIT and some commercial banks. She did not give details of the planned mobile wallet pilot project or when it would begin, but gave the assurance that it would not be done in a reckless manner. The announcement came on Tuesday as she responded to concerns raised by Chief Executive Officer of BIT, Senator Rawdon Adams, during the company's second annual blockchain conference at the Hilton Resort under the theme Central Bank Meets Blockchain from the Ground Up. Senator Adams revealed that there was some resistance to M-money, as it is called, in the local banking sector. He explained that while commercial banks were sympathetic, others were hostile, and he's anxious for talks to clear up the concerns.
We have a very large potential client in this country. I've signed the contract. They haven't signed the contract yet because their bank refuses to accept any transfer of money from us to them, meaning when our merchant wants to cash out, that commercial bank has decided, you know what, we're not going to do business with them. They haven't given us a reason. We've made 3 appointments, they've canceled twice. And I got this message last night. I think this is probably worth sharing. All we're asking now is for a meeting so we can understand what their objection is. And they've said, our internal stakeholders are not supportive of the initiative at this time. We are not prepared to participate. Sorry, I will have to decline the meeting. What do you want to do? You know? I came here to make remarks as a businessman. But when I read that, I'm going to tell you I felt affronted as a Barbadian and as a consumer. There's one thing to be competitive. We don't ask anybody to give us a favor. But it's another thing to be obstructive and anti-competitive.
BIT is a financial technology firm that utilizes blockchain and distributes ledger technology to facilitate secure peer-to-peer transactions through mobile money across a range of software and mobile applications. Prime Minister Mottley is calling for an end to the bickering, warning that Barbadians stand to be the losers if the issue is not settled.
But we've also come to say, in a very simple way, that separate from resolving the conflict that exists between entities like BIT and the commercial banking sector, how do we meet the expectations of our citizens? How do we facilitate a man on the highway wanting to stop and buy 3 bottles of coconut water and he ain't got no money on him? How do we make sure that that vendor does not have $500 or $600 in cash in his pocket for somebody to take him as he walk away at 6 o'clock the evening or 7 o'clock the evening going back to his home? How do we create access to that security, to that convenience, and to that affordability?
In other news this Tuesday, Parliament resumed a debate on a bill to abolish the mandatory death sentence today. Government backbencher Dr. Sonia Brown is urging her administration to introduce lethal injection and abolish hangings. She told the House of Assembly this afternoon that hanging is antiquated. And in her contribution to the debate on the Offences Against the Person Amendment Bill 2018, Dr. Brown also insisted that the death penalty should remain on the statute books for heinous murders, but not in its current form.
We need to come out of the hanging thing. Hanging is antiquated, and I see something there about suffering. Hanging is something that I have a problem with. I always used to be against the death penalty until I got a little bigger and realized some of these crimes that were committed. But there has to be a way, I believe, something more progressive like the lethal injection, where there's not one man to pull a lever and have to live with killing somebody the rest of their life, where there's a lot of automated things. I think that needs to come here. And it needs to come here and not get cobwebs. We got too many people killing people and know willfully and know that they will sit in prison and enjoy the rest of the days.
Her counterpart, Health Minister Jeffrey Bostic, wants the country to move beyond the debate on the death penalty and to get to the root causes of crime.
We need to look beyond the penalty and the sentencing and even the conviction to look towards the root of the problem and to find ways and means that will allow us to reach our people so that they do not end up in this situation. That is vital also. So that all of the social impacts, all of the things that contribute to the perpetration of criminal activities of this nature, these are the things that we need to focus our energy on even more so than dealing with the death penalty itself. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
2 St. Lucie men accused of murder were remanded to Her Majesty Prison Dodds today. 40-year-old Dwayne Carlo Griffith and 20-year-old Shaquan Shordan Romario Maskell, both of Stroud Bay, appeared before Magistrate Wanda Blair at the Holton Magistrates Court, charged with the death of Zico Bowen, formerly of Salmons, St. Lucie. The duo was also jointly charged with unlawful use of a firearm, while Griffith was handed a third charge of the offense of a violent disorder. The offenses allegedly occurred on July 28. Griffith and Maskell will return to court on October 15.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To the region now. In Jamaica, there was another bomb scare at one of the nation's courts, this time at the Spanish Town Court House in St. Catherine. Today's incident was the 4th bomb scare at the nation's courts in 2 weeks. More in this report from Television Jamaica.
A bomb threat at the Supreme Court on Monday led to the adjournment of proceedings. Threats at the Criminal Division of the Quapac Area Parish Court and the Trelawney Parish Court last week also interrupted proceedings. Those 3 threats turned out to be hoaxes. Speaking in Trelawney recently, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck said there will be increased security measures at the country's courts.
Each court complex, and the idea of the camera is that it can detail what happens 24 hours per day. I hope that will certainly be able to identify any movement that may happen, because these cameras are such that it identifies any movements. So if there's a movement, say at night, we can identify what is happening. And we hope that will avoid similar occurrences.
And further afield, China has fired back at the United States after President Donald Trump ramped up the trade war with his biggest wave of tariffs yet. The Chinese government said Tuesday that it would impose tariffs on U.S. goods worth $16 billion following the Trump administration's announcement that it was hitting $200 billion worth of Chinese goods with new tariffs. More in this CNN report.
Automobile, aircraft, and motorcycle makers, pharmaceuticals, plastics, and paper products, breweries, wineries, and distilleries. Coast to coast, the message is the same. There's danger ahead in the trade war with China.
This is just the beginning for consumers with regards to worrying about price increases that could be coming.
Jumps in the cost of steel and aluminum already have companies announcing expected price hikes for power tools, washing machines, canned sodas, and many parts of farm country are facing a potential double whammy. Higher costs for equipment and parts from China and lower profits for the products they sell there. Some in Iowa started the year with trade war worries.
The pigs, you're probably talking $200 to $300 million impact already.
Now there is talk of less farm money for local stores, restaurants, and shops.
It's a matter of concern when your largest soybean export customer is having negotiations with your government.
That said, rural areas voted overwhelmingly for Trump. The worst predictions so far remain just that, predictions. And some seem willing to weather the hard times in hopes he can win the better deals he promised.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.